My name is Bob Simon. We have with us Professor Carter Phillip from the University of Florida. Thank you. Really appreciate for accepting our interview. So today, the main goal is try to understand how mosquitoes breed. How I would like to hear your thoughts about mosquitoes' physical appearance, the breeding system, how it works, and what attract them in Florida, and especially what attract them in our neighborhood.
My name is Phil Kaler, and I'm an emeritus professor at the University of Florida in the entomology and nematology department. So I've been here for about 48 years and have seen a lot of change in the past few years from the standpoint of the work at the University of Florida being implemented around the state, and also some of the problems that we've had with mosquitoes have increased over the years.
Try to understand uh, uh, what how mosquitoes behave. So first of all, Professor, why is the mosquitoes bite itching?
So basically, mosquitoes are going to suck blood, and in order to keep the blood from coagulating in their mouth parts and blocking them, they inject saliva, which has anticoagulants in it, and those anticoagulants are sometimes proteins
Mhm.
to human body then reacts to, and you end up with an allergic reaction in some cases where you have a skin eruption as a result of that particular bite and the injection of those anticoagulants into the skin. There are other compounds in mosquito saliva as well, which numb the skin so that you don't know the mosquito is biting you.
Yes.
So basically, there are a lot of different compounds that your body can react to when a mosquito bites.
Okay, okay. That sometimes it's itching, but not all the time. You're not gonna have that feeling, that sensation.
Yes, not everyone reacts the same to a mosquito bite. And also, there are chemicals on your body that attract mosquitoes to you to bite. And there are many differences between people and how susceptible they are to mosquitoes.
All right, that's great. That's great. So, what are the effects of the mosquitoes in Florida? Do we have like an evaluation, recent evaluation about what they did to the population, to the communities?
Well, in the past, mosquitoes have been something that has actually prevented the development of Florida many years ago when the Spanish conquistadors came to Florida and were surveying the area. Some of them had to sleep on the sand out by the beach and cover themselves over with just their nose and their mouth sticking out because there were so many mosquitoes. They 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 actually couldn't get a good night's sleep. That is because of many of the conditions that we have in Florida. First of all, we have a lot of rainfall, and
Yes.
mosquitoes in their larval stage need water in order to develop, standing water in order to develop. There are many places in Florida that have standing water. When you think of the Everglades, it's covered
Yeah.
over with water,
Yes.
and we get large numbers of mosquitoes coming off the Everglades. We also have areas around the coastal areas that mix brackish water with fresh water, and those are breeding places for mosquitoes. And we also have rainfall, which fills up containers and low-lying areas with water where mosquitoes can develop. So
Okay.
basically, mosquitoes have a life cycle where the eggs are laid close to or on water. The eggs hatch into larvae that then breathe close to the surface of water, and then they have the pupal stage, which is where they're turning into the adult that also requires water. Then the adult that flies off and needs a blood meal in order to be able to lay more eggs.
Oh, wow, wow, okay. So I got a question about this. As we talking about waters, so it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter the quantity.
Yes, and basically we have over 90 different species of mosquitoes in Florida,
Oh,
and we have some that can develop in as little as one teaspoon. The larvae can develop in as little as one teaspoonful of water
okay.
in a container in order to develop to the adult stage.
Oh,
So some of them require larger bodies of water. Some of them don't take much water at all.
Okay, okay. So as you're saying, like we got like 90s different species of mosquitoes. So is there any type of them like is the most dangerous than the others?
Well, there are certain mosquitoes that are very well known for transmitting diseases.
Yes.
Um, Most recently, we've had Aedes mosquitoes transmitting Zika and chikungunya and dengue virus in Florida. And then just this year, they found Anopheles mosquitoes had been transmitting malaria in some parts of the state. And historically, we've had Culex mosquitoes that have transmitted viruses like St. Louis encephalitis and West Nile virus to people in Florida. So we've had numerous mosquito-borne diseases that have affected Florida. Historically, back before 1948, Florida was the most malarious state in the entire country.
Okay.
And it was through efforts with the state of Florida and the military and also the public health service, they were able to eradicate malaria from Florida. It's
Oh,
interesting that Dr. John Mulrennan was a graduate of the University of Florida's entomology department, and
okay.
he was responsible for eradicating malaria in the state. The last case before this year of endemic malaria being transmitted was back in 1948 when the last case was reported in Lee County, which is Fort Myers area.
Right, right, right. Thank you so much for letting us know about it. I think the audience will really appreciate that. So now we got another question that's really important. So we know where the mosquitoes laid the his eggs so it can multiply itself himself. So what conducive condition attract and breed mosquitoes in Florida? What attract them? Is there a smell? Is there a plant? Is there, as you were saying earlier, is there like chemical from our body? What attract them? Why they come? They attack us?
Well, mosquitoes are attracted to people because, first of all, you're giving off heat from your body. Mosquitoes are attracted to heat.
Okay.
Second of all, they're attracted to carbon dioxide, which is what you're breathing out, and it's warm carbon dioxide that has high humidity, and the mosquitoes are attracted to that. So if you're exercising outside and you're warm, you're going to be more attractive to mosquitoes than someone who just came out into an area with mosquitoes from air conditioning.
Okay.
However, there are chemicals that your body gives off. For instance, in sweat, you have lactic acid, butyric acid, and a bunch of other chemicals that mosquitoes are attracted to also. There's a product called octanol that's used as an attractant to get mosquitoes to go into traps. That
Yeah.
is something that was synthesized from cattle breath. So,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
also in human breath as well, but it was first
Oh, okay.
synthesized from cattle breath. And
Oh,
that's very attractive to mosquitoes.
okay. That's good. That's good to know because we are saying like, okay, why the mosquitoes they don't attack animals? They don't attack other animals and then just leave us alone because why they going straight after us? So we are so surprised about that.
Well, mosquitoes actually go after a wide range of animals, including birds and our pets and even cattle. We have
Oh,
cases of cattle suffocating around Lake Okeechobee in the southern part of the state every
oh,
year because of the large numbers of mosquitoes that are attracted to their face. And when the mosquitoes are attracted to their face, they inhale them and they can clog the airways and then kill them.
okay, okay. Oh, that's I didn't know about that. That's great. So, I mean, so do you have like an advice for Floridian how to manage the backyard with when they have mosquito in the backyard? They can get access to the backyard even though they want it, but they can't.
Well, a lot of times it's very difficult for individuals to be able to control mosquitoes, especially if they're migrating from other areas. So that's where supporting community efforts to control mosquitoes with mosquito control districts is a very good thing to do. If you have a problem, contact your mosquito control district. There
Yes.
are a few things that people can do themselves to control mosquitoes. One would be that there are many pest control companies that now can come out and and control mosquitoes for you. They usually use a backpack mist blower and be able to apply insecticides to vegetation to kill
Yes.
mosquitoes as they're resting there before they come to you.
Uh,
Also, there's a mosquito trap that I'm one of the inventors of, that the University of Florida is licensed to the Insecto company, INZECTO. That product is something that works very well on Aedes mosquitoes, and you can, and those are the ones that transmit Zika and dengue and chikungunya virus. And those can be put out in your yard to be able to reduce mosquito populations. The color of the trap is red and black. Those are the two preferred colors
yeah. Yeah.
of the trap.
Yes.
And the mosquitoes go in there to either rest or to lay eggs. And the
Okay.
inside of the trap is coated with a polymer coating of insecticide so that it's released over a 3-month period to control mosquitoes.
What is the mosquito life circle? How it works, when it starts, when it ends?
Well, of course, the mosquitoes are insects. They don't produce heat by themselves, so they're very much reliant on their environment in order to be able to survive. During the wintertime, in many parts of the state, the mosquito population uh, uh, decreases, and you don't have as severe a problem as you do midsummer, which is about where we are right now. So it's something that they're very much, the numbers of mosquitoes is very much related to the weather.
Okay.
Also, mosquitoes are going to be more prevalent when it rains. Usually, if you have a heavy rainfall, then you're going to have mosquitoes 10 days to 2 weeks later, because it takes that long for the mosquito eggs that are laid in that new water to develop into the adult stage. And about 2 weeks later, you have a massive emergence of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
If you remember Hurricane Ian,
Yes.
it came through South Florida and devastated the Fort Myers and surrounding communities. We had massive emergences of floodwater mosquitoes after that. And the
Yes.
floodwater mosquito eggs can be laid above the water line, waiting for a severe rain event, which we had with Ian. And then you can have up to 5 years worth of mosquito production all at once when those water levels get above those eggs, and the larvae hatch and then develop into adults. And that's
Wow.
what happened last year after Ian. We had massive emergences of mosquitoes throughout South Florida.
Yes, yes. But it's a really like I mean, it's not easy to understand how mosquito is so related with water, while I mean they are afraid of water. I mean, no.
Um, well, of course, in the larval stage, they are aquatic, so they're associated with water.
Yeah.
In the adult stage, they are looking for a blood meal, and sometimes, for instance, with the salt marsh mosquitoes that are breeding along Florida's coastal areas, you can have them migrating 25 miles for a blood meal. So
Okay.
they can move away from the places where they breed to areas where people are in large numbers.
All right. So immediately they develop. How many days left for them, or how many weeks they got left?
Well, we're going to usually when we get into the fall season, we have cooler temperatures and we also have less rainfall.
Yes.
And of course, the times that we have the least rainfall are usually from February on through the spring. So basically, somewhere around October, November, the mosquito population drops off some, and then they come back somewhere in March, April, and May.
Okay, so from that period where we don't see them at all, so but the eggs, they are still there and want us.
Yes, most of the time the eggs are the overwintering stage for mosquitoes, and
Yeah.
then when we get rainfall in the springtime, that's when the eggs hatch, and we end up with the mosquito population growing again.
All right. So I really understand the process right now. It's very clear right now. Professor Kohler, I mean, I'm satisfied with all the answers. So do you have some things?
Okay, there's one other thing that we haven't talked about, and that is from the standpoint of what people can do. They can apply repellents when they go outside. There
Okay.
are repellents that are available for applying to the skin, which, for instance, one is diethyltoluamide, which is often called DEET, D-E-E-T.
All right.
And that one was something that was invented by USDA scientists in Florida uh, back during World War II, and it's still one of the best mosquito repellents out there. There are a few other alternatives out there, which is like picaridin and a few other compounds that CDC recommends for skin repellents. There are also repellents that are put into clothing for hunters and people that are spending a lot of time outside, and you can wear that mosquito repellent clothing that that can protect you from mosquito bites if you're going to spend a long time out in the
Outside
environment.
camping, if you're gonna camping, hiking, so you can use them.
Right, right. If you're going to go out camping or hiking or fishing, you probably want to wear some mosquito repellent clothing to keep from getting bit up.
So my almost my last question. So as we were talking about earlier about the rainfall, is it like it just like because Florida there's like a lot of water, a lot of standing water on the state. So that's what we got so much of mosquito, uh or it's because of the temperature, the water or the temperature.
It's a combination of the two. We
Oh,
have temperatures that are conducive for Florida breeding, for Florida mosquito breeding
okay.
through much of the year, especially in South Florida, it never ends. And and in North Florida, we end up with seasons where the mosquitoes aren't prevalent for maybe 2 to 3 months a year. So it just depends on where you are. And yeah, they need water and they need heat.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. As I say, if you have a last good advice for our audience, so what could that be?
Well, stay safe from mosquitoes because the ones that we have now are capable of doing disease transmission. Work with your mosquito control districts and try to protect yourself from mosquito bites when you go outside.
All right, thank you so much. We just discussed about mosquitoes in Florida and how you can handle that situation. We have Professor Kohler with us that for the first time, and that's not gonna be the last time. We really appreciate Professor. Have a good afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.